Even though I made a couple of videos about companies related to Bitcoin, I have never told my opinion about Bitcoin before. I'm not a Bitcoin hater, I just think that it's as useless as my job. My first thesis is that Bitcoin is not a currency, and comparing Bitcoin to dollar is like comparing a hammer to a clock. Money is a tool that evaluates the value of things. We do not use Bitcoin to estimate the value of anything. For this, its price must be constant. And this is the key function of money, to evaluate the value of an asset. Without this property, money simply loses its meaning, because you can replace fiat currency with absolutely anything. We can pay for goods or services with oil futures, for example, or we can simply exchange goods for other goods or services. There is no point in money if it doesn't estimate the value of goods or services. The price of Bitcoin is extremely volatile, and therefore it cannot perform the main function of money, to evaluate the value of things. There is also a popular thesis that Bitcoin is allegedly a hedge against inflation. Right now inflation is at multi-year highs, and Bitcoin has fallen multiple times over the past 9 months. At the same time, the Bitcoin price increased when inflation was low at the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. Someone might say it's a long-term hedge against inflation, it has a limited supply and people are losing wallets and their bitcoins, so the number of them is decreasing, unlike fiat currency that is being printed over and over again. Well, none of this and nothing else gives any guarantee that Bitcoin will cost more in the future. Many currencies besides Bitcoin, such as Dash, are also limited in supply and people lose the wallets, but the price of these cryptocurrencies only falls over the last years. And does it even make sense to talk about the hedge against inflation and long-term accumulation of value, considering that Bitcoin is extremely volatile and in a couple of months the price can change several times? And again, someone might say that the volatility will decrease over time, but so far, if we look at the history of Bitcoin volatility over the years, it doesn't seem to decrease at all. Another popular myth is that Bitcoin is digital gold. This is completely wrong. Bitcoin is a technology, and technology tends to become obsolete. Some technologies are being replaced by other, more advanced ones, which are replacing them. Gold doesn't get outdated. It's hard to imagine what should happen for people to lose interest in gold. Technologies in the future will change a lot, obviously, and we cannot predict whether Bitcoin will be relevant in the new technological reality. But interest in gold will not disappear no matter how much technology changes. Gold is considered by the market as a low-risk asset that doesn't correlate with the stock market and a reliable store of value that can survive in a nuclear apocalypse. Bitcoin is considered by the market as a very high-risk asset. It correlates with the stock market and it behaves like a technology stock on steroids, or more simply as a speculative bubble, not as a low-risk asset. There's one property of Bitcoin that clearly indicates that Bitcoin is just a speculative bubble and nothing more. It doesn't become a better buy and more attractive looking asset when its price drops several times. No other asset works like this. If the price of real estate falls several times, it becomes more attractive to buy. If the price of a farm, car, or a company falls several times, it becomes more interesting to buy them. The same doesn't work with Bitcoin. It will not become a more attractive asset if its price falls, for example, by 10 times. Okay, someone still might say that Bitcoin protects against tyrannical government, but how does it work in practice? Opposition politicians and opposition media in dictatorships around the world just get arrested and get banned no matter how much they used Bitcoins. Bitcoin doesn't help them. Law enforcement catches cryptocurrency criminals, and organized government institutes are stronger than unorganized, chaotic system. So my point is that Bitcoin performs no functions that are erroneously attributed to it, and it's simply useless. I know that Bitcoin enthusiasts will find a million ways to argue with me, but the point of this video is not trying to convince anyone. I just wanted to make a video explaining that if I mention Bitcoin, it doesn't mean I take it seriously. I think it's just a speculative bubble, and that's pretty much it. Is it bad that Bitcoin is useless? Perhaps no. The only downside of it is that people will lose a lot of money with this. But if there was no Bitcoin, people would find another way to lose a lot of money on.